Alright, let's get into the madness, because whatever Drake's got going on right now, it's pure chaos. You might want to grab a snack, because this story? It's wild. Before we dive in and unpack the scrambling, spin, and behind-the-scenes panic, go ahead and tap that like button. Trust me, you'll want to, because what's coming? It's messier than Drake's little Karen with a clipboard moment. Brace yourself. Because when Drake's involved, the drama never disappoints. That viral clip of him losing it after that club incident? Yeah, that wasn't just a random outburst, it peeled back the curtain on how deep his whole poor-me act really runs. But this isn't just about a meltdown. We're talking about what started the fight, who was in the mix, and why his team is scrambling like their reputations are on the line. So if you're ready to see what really went down when Champagne Papi hit his boiling point, hit that subscribe button, do the whole thing, because apparently, they'd rather you didn't hear this. Now, let's be honest, the way this story's being spun? It's not adding up. And not because of the iconic Karen finger point or the meltdown itself, which, let's be real, was meme gold, but because Drake's PR team is trying to turn it into a joke. They're calling it a prank. Yup. A prank. As if the yelling, the finger pointing, and the full-on meltdown were part of some comedy skit. Spoiler, it wasn't. And the receipts? Oh, they're ready. So here's the setup. Word is, Drake got kicked out of a club after losing his section, snapping at security, and putting on that hold me back performance we've all seen before. Big talk, zero follow-through. This all went down in December 2023 at Shisha Lounge in Turks Caicos. The drama apparently started when Drake clashed with some mystery guy over his spot. People online have been tossing out names like confetti, and honestly, if it's who they think it is, Drake would never live it down. But here's where it gets rich. Drake's crew allegedly got the lounge owner to call into Angela Yee and B.Dot's show to clear things up. And what did he say? That the whole thing was just a prank. Sure, Jan. Listening to that interview, it's giving full-on damage control. To quote Kendrick, it smells like somebody's lying. The club owner keeps repeating how Drake's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Over and over again. The tone? The delivery? It's the kind of overcompensation that screams, protect the brand at all costs. Let's pull the quote. It was a prank, you know, because he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet once you get to know him. But he does have a funny side. A funny side? More like a shady one, if that's what we're calling funny now. And the excuses don't stop there. The same guy claimed this was Drake's first time in Turks and Caicos. First time? Really? Because Lil Yachty literally said on his since-deleted podcast that he and Drake were recording Her Loss There back in 2022. So either someone's got memory loss or they're just making stuff up. When you connect the dots, the fake first visit, the it was a prank defense, the overly polished PR spin, it's obvious what's going on. Someone's desperately trying to rewrite the narrative. But everything we've seen says otherwise. Drake wasn't joking, and that meltdown? Completely real. So, what do you think? Does this sound like a harmless prank, or a superstar's frantic cleanup job after he made a fool of himself on camera? Alright, this is where the whole thing starts to reek of desperation, because let's be real, somebody's lying. And whoever on Team OVO thought they could just sweep this under the rug clearly underestimated the internet. Did they really think people wouldn't notice the contradictions? Please. Anyone half awake can see it. Drake's trying to bury something, and this so-called club owner is out here doing PR gymnastics like rents due tomorrow. Here's where it gets truly bizarre. During his 2.5-minute nothing to see here rant, this man didn't just crown himself the ambassador of Turks and Caicos, which, okay, delusion is free, he also called the whole thing a misunderstanding. Then, in the same breath, said it was a prank. So which is it, buddy? You can't be both the peacemaker and the comedian. The whole story sounds like someone freestyling under pressure. And come on, we've seen Drake enough times to know when he's putting on a show. This wasn't one of those moments. There was no wink, no smirk, no gotcha. This was pure ego, Drake blowing up because someone bruised his pride. That clip wasn't funny, it was uncomfortable. You could feel the rage, the embarrassment, and the entitlement radiating through the screen. So let's connect the dots. Drake gets tossed from a club in Turks and Caicos. A viral video catches him melting down. Then suddenly, the club owner calls into Angela Yee's show, one of the biggest platforms in hip-hop, to deliver a shaky fairy tale that falls apart faster than his story does mid-sentence. None of it makes sense. If this meltdown was no big deal, why lie about it? Why twist it into a misunderstanding prank hybrid? Why recruit a random spokesperson to peddle an obviously scripted narrative? Because something happened that night and they're scrambling to keep it buried. They're counting on the audience to just shrug, accept the haha prank version, and move on. But let's be honest, you can't rebrand a meltdown as comedy. Not when the footage shows Drake doing the classic hold me back routine, finger pointing like a mom arguing over coupons at Whole Foods. So, again, why lie? Why push this story so hard? Why get a third party involved to publicly clarify something that clearly doesn't line up with what we saw? And the way this guy keeps describing Drake, great guy, funny side, the tone doesn't sound genuine. It sounds like someone carefully dodging the truth. You can practically hear the panic between the lines. This isn't honesty, it's damage control dressed as diplomacy. At this point, it's obvious, the audience is being played. They're trying to gaslight everyone into believing it was harmless when all the receipts scream otherwise. Something went down in that club that they do not want out. And sure, we could go full detective mode and chase theories all night, but honestly? The cover-up speaks louder than the incident. The lies are doing the heavy lifting. And when you remember Kendrick's Meet the Grahams and those bars about Drake being in Turks, suddenly, that hits a lot different. Because now, lined up next to this meltdown and the frantic PR spin, you can't help but wonder, what really went down in Turks and Caicos, and why is Drake's camp working overtime to make sure we never find out? Alright, let's cut through the noise, because at this point, it's not even about rumors or wild theories. The whispers are out there, sure. Places like Vlad and academics have tossed around talk about the strange things going on behind the scenes with Drake. But forget all that for a second. What we're watching right now isn't speculation, it's reality. We're seeing Aubrey Graham, unfiltered. No camera-ready smile, no rehearsed charm. Just the man behind the mask. That clip? That meltdown? That's not a performance. That's the mask slipping right off. Because look at how he's acting. The body language, the yelling, the way he loses it, it's not frustration, it's entitlement. That's what happens when someone's been untouchable for too long. And when even the club owner sounds terrified to say anything bad, calling Drake the ambassador of Turks and Caicos and talking about him like he's royalty, you can see who really holds the power in that situation. It's pure ego on parade. And that's the unsettling part. This isn't the reaction of a humble man. This is someone so used to control, so insulated by yes men, that one moment of public pushback turns into chaos. That viral clip wasn't a misunderstanding, it was a spotlight on how far gone the attitude has gotten. The more you look at it, the stranger it gets. The fake misunderstanding, that it was just a prank story, the careful spin, it's all too rehearsed. Drake's PR team has been perfecting the art of cleanup for years, and this just feels like another one of their polished cover-ups. The speed, the coordination, the tone, they've done this before. So here's the truth, don't get distracted by the headlines. When someone's entire brand is built on perfection, every word, every mistake, every misunderstanding is part of a plan. Nothing leaks unless they allow it. Nothing gets clarified unless it benefits the image. And the scary part? If the real reason behind that meltdown ever came to light, the actual trigger for why Drake snapped like that, it wouldn't just be a PR headache. It would expose exactly what Kendrick was hinting at in Meet the Grahams. Those bars about Turks and Caicos would hit with a whole new level of meaning. Because something here doesn't sit right. The lies are messy, the stories don't match, and the calm, curated image is cracking. The mask is slipping faster than OVO's PR team can glue it back together. Anyway, that's where we'll leave it for now. This whole thing is just weird from top to bottom. So what do you think? What's Drake really hiding? Why work this hard to fake a harmless misunderstanding? If you're still here, you're the real MVP. Drop a like, hit subscribe, and buckle up, because the next story? Let's just say Drake's last PR disaster before this one makes this meltdown look like child's play.